Welcome back to another edition of the Saturday to Sunday Football Podcast. I am Paul Perdichizzi, and thank you for joining me as always. The NFL Draft in the books here at Saturday to Sunday. We have been recapping it wire to wire. I was privileged to be able to be on the Football Guys Round 1 live stream with Sig Bloom and Matt Wallman, recapping night 1, day 2 with podcasts, live tweeting the entire NFL draft, interacting with you. It's been a pleasure. Recording this Sunday morning, I needed a night to kind of process what took place on day 3 and just, basically re-energize myself after a long weekend to really dig into this, give my thoughts on everything that happened on day 3 of the NFL draft, and then start to spin this forward with recapping division by division. We'll have 8 podcasts recapping every single division. We will have Dynasty rookie ranking episode. We will have a Dynasty rookie mock draft, and then we will start trying to get on guests to start talking about this class in terms of their perspective. Who had the best draft classes? Who are some under the radar guys? Who are some late round, sleepers that maybe can make an impact this year and in terms of fantasy? So we will cover it wire to wire, unlike other podcasts, which maybe turn the page in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. No, all of May, all of June, we will be focused in on this draft class and dissecting it from every angle possible. And not until sometime in July will we start to turn the page to the next wave, the next draft class, and start really dissecting those prospects and talking about them here at Saturday to Sunday. So let's get right into this. For rounds 4, 5, I'll probably talk about almost every pick. And then round 6 and 7, I'll pick and choose some spots here just because I'll run through the names, but not really give a detailed synopsis on every single player. If you want that, you can head over to my Twitter page. Every single prospect there was a tweet about, so you can find my thoughts on any guy that I do not talk about here. So let's keep this going, and let's start this off. Round 4 kicked off with pick 103. The Saints selected offensive lineman Nick Saldiveri. Great size, good frame, good athleticism and movement skills. He shows agility and lateral quickness. Obviously, he's a small school player, ideal for an outside zone run scheme. He's got good instincts, versatile offensive lineman, can play guard, can play center. He's got upside to maybe even develop into a starter. The Saints traded up for that. At pick 104, the Raiders selected Jacorian Bennett. Most people thought he was going to be around 3 guys. He's got great athleticism, movement skills, burst speed. He's got play strength, toughness, and physicality. He can be an outside or a nickel cornerback with starter traits. Pick 105, the Eagles jumped up because, of course, they do, and they selected another Georgia Bulldog, a guy who many thought would go early to mid round 2, and that was cornerback Kaylee Ringo. Great size and frame, elite level athleticism for his size, acceleration, closing bursts, quickness, and movement skills. He's got play strength. He's got physicality and toughness. Obviously, there's some concerns about him in terms of his fluidity, changing directions and stuff like that. But this is a guy upside to be a starter, press man, corner. Amazing pick there by the Eagles. Pick 106, the Colts select offensive tackle Blake Freeland. Great size, good frame, great athleticism, movement skills, agility, and lateral quickness. He's a developmental offensive tackle, can become a swing tackle or a starter. A lot of athleticism and upside with Blake Freeland. Pick 107, the Patriots select the first guy who I thought was borderline draftable, and that's center Jake Andrews. He's got good size and frame, but he does have athletic limitations, but he's got really good play strength, power, toughness, and physicality. He shows good hand usage and techniques. To me, he's depth along the interior of the offensive line. At pick 108, the Seahawks select offensive lineman Anthony Bradford out of LSU. Great size and frame, average athleticism and movement skills, but he's got really good play strength, power, toughness. He's got good hand usage. He's a good run blocker. To me, ideal for a power gap scheme. Depth offensive guard, but upside to become a starter. At pick 109, the Houston Texans select edge rusher at TCU, Dylan Horton. Good size and frame, good athleticism. He's got first step quickness. He's got bend off the edge. He's got play strength, physicality. Best is a 4-3 defensive end, but could also play some 3-4 edge as well. Pick 110, maybe one of the best value picks in the entire draft. The Colts select defensive lineman Tommy Adebawore from Northwestern. Very good to great athleticism, movement skills, explosiveness. I mean, he absolutely dominated the combine. He's got very good play strength. He's got power. He's got physicality. He's got versatility to play a variety of spots on the defensive line. That pick once finally side of right tackle out of Ohio State, DeJuan Jones, rare size and frame for the position. He's got length. He's good in pass protection, but that mauling right tackle type player. He's got power, toughness, physicality, ideal for that run blocking scheme where you use power and have a power gap. Pick 112, the Patriots trade up and select the first kicker, select the kicker, Chad Ryland. At 113, the Atlanta Falcons get one of the best value picks on day 3, and that is cornerback Clark Phillips. We're talking undersized starting nickel cornerback, but he's got good frame, above average athleticism, movement skills, change of direction, and agility. He's got very good ball skills. I love the instincts, the play recognition. He's got good toughness, effort, and physicality. If he came off the board late round 2 or early round 3, nobody would have been surprised by that. Instead, the Falcons get him all the way at pick 113, the beginning of the 4th. At pick 114, the Panthers select another guy many people thought would be a day 2 guy, and that's offensive guard at NC State, Chandler Zavala. Good size and frame, average movement skills, but very good play strength, toughness, finishing mentality, good hand usage. To me, it's an upside to be a starting offensive guard, best in a power gap scheme. At pick 115, the Bears select one of my favorite running back prospects in the draft, Roschon Johnson out of Texas. Great size and frame, above average to good athleticism and burst, average to above average long speed and acceleration, great play strength, contact balance, power, finishing ability. He's able to one cut and get up the field quickly. I think he's got 3-down capabilities. My guess is by the end of this year, if not sooner, he's leading that committee there. Ahead of Khalil Herbert, ahead of Donta Foreman, who they signed. I like Roschon Johnson. I thought he was coming off the board in round 3. At pick 116, the Packers selected another guy I thought was going to go off the board day 2. Defensive lineman Colby Wooden, very versatile, can do a variety of things. He can kick inside and rush as a defensive tackle. He can play 3-4-5 tech. He can be a power defensive end in a 4-3 base as well. Great size and frame, good athleticism, burst, and first step quickness, high motor as well. Pick 117, the Patriots select offensive lineman Sidney So. He's a developmental offensive guard prospect. He's got very good size and frame, average athleticism, movement skills, great length, good play strength and power, really good toughness and physicality. I think he's best in a gap run scheme. At pick 118, the Commanders select offensive lineman Braden Daniels. He was an offensive tackle in college. I think he's going to shift inside. I think he's got upside to become a starter. I really like the athleticism, the movement skills, the agility, and the lateral quickness. I think he plays with good techniques and instincts, good toughness, a good recovery ability. I like Braden Daniels. Pick 119, the Chiefs select defensive back Chamari Connor. DJ had him in his top 150. Good size and frame, above average athleticism, movement skills, speed, and quickness. He was a 4-year starter. He's depth free safety or nickel corner with some upside traits and a core special teamer. At pick 120, the Jets select offensive tackle Carter Warren. Great size and frame, average to above average athleticism and movement skills, great length, good hand usage and techniques, good at pass pro. At pick 121, the Jaguars select linebacker Ventrell Miller, average size, undersized frame, but with some athletic limitations, but he's got good play strength, good toughness, high-level motor, good instincts and play recognition. To me, he's a depth inside linebacker. 122, the Cardinals select offensive lineman out of UCLA. It's good size, average frame, above average to good athleticism, movement skills, and lateral quickness. He's got average play strength and power, but he's got very good instincts. He's versatile that he can play offensive guard or center at the next level. 123, the Seahawks select defensive tackle Cameron Young. He's a nose tackle, good size and frame, great length, good play strength. He's dominant in the run game in terms of stopping the run. He's got good hand usage. He's going to clog the middle there in Seattle. At pick 124, the Ravens have had success with these day 3 edge type players. Tavius Robinson, great size, good frame, good athleticism, movement skills, speed, burst, agility, and change of direction. He's got a solid first step quickness and bend off the edge. He's got good pass rush skills, great length, good footwork, high motor. To me, he's a depth 4, 3D, or 3-4 edge rusher. At pick 125, one of the first ones that I really was a little bit confused with. Chargers select wide receiver Darius Davis at a TCU. Very undersized, great athleticism, speed, movement skills, acceleration, change of direction skills, agility, and elusiveness. He's an elite return man, and I think maybe he can be a depth slot wide receiver, but to me, he's a return man, offensive weapon. You can do some jet sweeps and stuff like that. Just seems a little early for that, but clearly he will add some speed to the offense in spots and as a returner. Pick 126, the Browns get a guy who I thought should went off the board late round 3. That's defensive lineman Isaiah McGuire. Great size and frame, above average athleticism, first step quickness, good play strength, power, physicality, good hand usage, very good length. To me, he's a 4-3 DE with upside starter traits. At 127, the Saints select quarterback Jake Haener. He'll probably come in and compete to be the backup job there at that position. Above average athleticism, mobility, and arm talent. Very good accuracy and decision making in the short to intermediate range. Good mental processing with the ability to throw with touch and anticipation. Jake Haener was expected him to probably be the guy that came off the board after the Big Five, and that was kind of how it played out. At pick 128, the Rams selected quarterback Stetson Bennett. Did not expect him to go in the 4th round. Undersized, good athleticism, movement skills, mobility, and speed. Keeps plays alive. He's got good accuracy in the short to intermediate range. He can work through progressions. At pick 129, the Cowboys selected defensive lineman Valami Fihoko Jr. He's got good size and frame, average athleticism, but he's got good short area quickness and movement skills. He's got play strength. He's got toughness. He's got physicality. To me, he could be a depth defensive end, whether it's in a 4-3 base or a 5-tech in a 3-4 base. At pick 130, the Jaguars selected defensive lineman Tyler Lacey. Good size, great frame, average athleticism, quickness, and movement skills. He's got good length and hand usage, above average play strength and power. He's got versatility to play run stopping defensive end in a 4-3. He can kick out the 5-tech in a 3-4 base or kick inside the rush, the passer from the interior in sub packages. At pick 131, one of my favorite picks in round 4, and that is the Bengals selecting one of my guys, Charlie Jones, out of Purdue. I think he's the natural replacement for Tyler Boyd, but he could add even more explosiveness and vertical capability from the slot there. Average size, undersized frame, but very good athleticism, speed, short area and separation quickness. He's got footwork. He's got route running. He understands route concepts. He's got good yak ability, ball skills, hands. He's a slot receiver with return skills as well. Absolutely love that pick. At pick 132, the Steelers selected Nick Herbig. Very interesting player to me. He's part edge rusher, part linebacker. He doesn't really have the size to hold up as an edge rusher, but I also think he's very good in that regard. So to me, he's an undersized 3-4 edge that may need to become a traditional off-the-ball linebacker, but I like the athleticism, the burst, the movement skills. He's got lateral quickness. He's got some cover capabilities. He's got first-step explosion and bend off the edge. Really interesting player. I like Nick Herbig. If he would have went early round 3, I would have been fine with that. Another one of my favorite picks in the round. Another guy, if he went round 2, if the Giants selected this player at the end of round 2, I would have been happy with the pick, and that is wide receiver out of Cincinnati, Tyler Scott. Yes, he's undersized, but very good athleticism, speed, movement skills, explosiveness, burst, and acceleration to win vertically. Very good footwork. He's got yak. He lasted. He's going to be the natural replacement for Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is a free agent after this year. They obviously have DJ Moore. They invested a high pick in a trade for Chase Claypool. I think Darnell Mooney probably will be the odd man out after this year. I think Tyler Scott fills that void perfectly as that vertical slot guy who can be a major weapon there. I like Tyler Scott. I think he's the heir apparent to Darnell Mooney on that roster. At pick 134, the Vikings selected defensive back Jay Ward. He's got nickel corner capabilities and free safety capabilities. Good size, average frame, average athleticism, movement skills, but he's got quickness, he's got length, he plays with nonstop motor and aggressiveness, good techniques and instincts, can do a little bit of everything. At pick 135 to round out round 4, the Raiders select quarterback Aiden O'Connell out of Purdue. I think he's got a shot there to develop behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Some people like O'Connell. I thought he was more of the day Puri guy, round 4, round 5. I don't see him as a future starter, but some like him more than me. Average arm talent in terms of velocity and strength, below average athleticism, but he's got good ball placement and accuracy, very good touch and anticipatory thrower, good mental processing, reading coverages, and going through progressions. To kick off round 5, the Jaguars select at pick 136, Yasir Abdullah. Very interesting player. I liked him. Undersized hybrid edge rusher and off-the-ball linebacker. Good athleticism, movement skills, speed, quickness, and agility. He's got play strength. He's got toughness. I like the instincts and the hand usage. He can play to run and rush the quarterback. At pick 137, the Commanders trade up and select defensive end KJ Henry. This is a guy that DJ had him in his like top 75 of his big board. 3-4 edge rusher, good size, average frame. He's got athleticism, he's got speed, he's got movement skills, he's got upfield burst and first step quickness. He's got some bend off the edge, good instincts, and play recognition. At pick 138, stunned that this guy fell, especially with the hot. He was really hot after the Senior Bowl, and that was cornerback Darius Rush. Out of South Carolina, former wide receiver, converted to cornerback, good size and frame, great ball skills, great length, disrupted the catch point. He's got good techniques. He's got play strength. He's got toughness and physicality. I think he's a starting outside cornerback. I love the Colts draft all in all. And we'll get to that one day when we do the recap shows, for the AFC South. But Darius Rush at this time in the 5th round was absolutely amazing value. If he would have went off the board late round 2 or early round 3, I would have been completely content with it and thought it would have been a solid pick. At 139, the Cardinals select quarterback Clayton Tune out of Houston. Average size and frame. He's got average athleticism. He's got some good the athleticism is even better. This year, he almost rushed for like 400 or 500 yards. I don't think that's really going to be his calling card at the next level. I think he could do some RPO stuff, but I think the athleticism shows up more in terms of he's got good mobility to move around inside and outside the pocket, throw on the run. He's got good accuracy and ball placement, good mental processing, quick release, ability to go through progressions. 140, the Browns select one of my favorite, developmental quarterback prospects, and that's Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of UCLA. Yes, he's a little undersized, but I love the athleticism, the movement skills, the ability to play off structure, using his legs to pick up chunk yards. He's got elusiveness and speed in the open field, good arm talent in terms of velocity and strength, a lot of experience as a starter in college. At pick 141, the Vikings trade up and select Jaquel Roy, the big defensive tackle from LSU. Great play strength, power, good first step quickness, uses his hands well, high motor. To me, he's a 3-tech or 1-tech defensive tackle, but he's got some upside to develop into a starter in that role. At pick 142, the Browns select cornerback Cameron Mitchell. So the guy was in the top 100 of Dane Brugler's big board. He comes off the board here at 142. Good athleticism, quickness, movement skills, agility, and speed. He's got play strength. He's got toughness. To me, he's an outsider nickel quarterback. Maybe even could develop into a starter with those traits. 143, I was not expecting this guy to last here. The Jets select running back Israel Abakanda out of Pittsburgh. Good size and frame, very good athleticism, speed, burst, and acceleration, good lateral quickness to the perimeter as a big play threat. He's got footwork, he's got agility and elusiveness. Perfect for like an outside zone run scheme. You get him in space, he's a home run hitter. So my guess is they've kind of soured on Michael Carter. I mean, last year it was Zonovan Knight. To me, I think they envision Breece Hall being their guy and Israel Abakanda being the second guy that could be that home run hitter when he spells Breece Hall. I think Abakanda will work his way in time up the depth chart to maybe be number 2 there. But I mean, he's got some climbing to do, right? Michael Carter might still be on the roster this year. Zonovan Knight's there, who played really well down the stretch. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how long it takes Abakanda to even move his way up the depth chart. Patriots select offensive lineman Antonio Mafi, good size, average athleticism, but he's got great strong toughness, he's got good hand use, guard, and a power gap run scheme. But I think he has the upside to maybe even develop into a starter. He was in Bob McGinn's top 100, so Bob thought he was going to go off the board in the first 100 picks. In talking to the scouts when he writes his great draft series article. At pick 145, the Panthers select Jamie Robinson, another guy that some people thought could sneak into the bottom of round 3. Here he is, early round 5, above average athleticism, speed, movement skills. He's got burst, he's got quickness, average play strength and physicality, but he's got cover skills. And coming downhill and run support, he can handle those duties. He's got upside to be a starting free safety or nickel back. At pick 146, the Saints select safety Jordan Howden, good size and frame, good athleticism, speed, closing bursts, and movement skills. He's got good instincts, techniques, route understanding, and play recognition, 4-year starter, depth at free safety and special teamer. The Titans at 147 select Josh Wiley, great size, good frame, good athleticism, movement skills, acceleration, long speed, ability to high point and adjust, very good length and catch radius with good hands. At pick 148, the Bears select linebacker Noah Sewell. Great size and frame, average athleticism and movement skills. He's got good play strength, nonstop motor, very good in run support, 3-year starter, depth inside linebacker. I know other people liked him more, but I thought this was the appropriate spot for him to come off the board. Packers, without a doubt, make the most head-scratching pick of the entire draft from my perspective, and that's quarterback Sean Clifford out of Penn State. This has been a guy I've been watching for years. to me, he was not a draftable player. I'm surprised he did. He's got average size, good frame, average arm talent. He's willing to push the ball vertically down the field. He's got above average to good athleticism, mobility inside and out the pocket, and use RPO concepts. But I just did not see the quarterbacking skills to warrant being selected, especially in round 5. So very, very surprised to see him come off the board here. At pick 150, the Bills select wide receiver Justin Shorter, former 5-star number 1 high school wide receiver prospect, good athleticism, movement skills, and speed, very good ball skills, body control, length, and catch radius. Justin Shorter is one of those guys, really interesting player that we've seen have his highs and lows and surprised, he went from being a guy that we thought would be a round 1, round 2 guy to a guy who I thought was undraftable and now has turned it around and he gets to come off the board there. And it's an interesting landing spot, right? Gabriel Davis had a very down year. They have Khalil Shakir there, but there's an opening there. So, interesting spot there for Justin Shorter. Seahawks at 151 select defensive end out of Michigan, Mike Morris. Great size, good frame, average athleticism, movement skills. He's got great play strength, power, toughness. He's a 4-3 run-stopping defensive end who can kick to be a 3-4-5 tech and also kick inside the rush from the interior and subs. 152, the Lions selected offensive lineman Colby Swordcell, small school prospect, good size, average frame, good athleticism, quickness, movement skills, developmental prospect that will shift from offensive tackle to offensive guard at the next level. The Bucs at 153 select linebacker Servakia Dennis, good size, undersized frame, above average to good athleticism, burst, quickness, range, and movement skills. To me, he's a depth weak side linebacker and special teamer. I pick 154 to Seahawks select out of Michigan center Olu Olotimi, average size and frame, average athleticism, movement skills, and lateral quickness. He's got good techniques and hand usage. He's a depth offensive center, but some people think he has the upside to develop into a starter. 5, the select cornerback Darrell Luther Jr., outside press cornerback with good size and frame, average athleticism, burst, speed, and movement skills. Shows good physicality and toughness at the catch point. He's got good instincts and techniques. At pick 156, the Chargers select offensive lineman Jordan McFadden, undersized offensive tackle with a good frame that will kick into offensive guard. He's got athleticism, footwork, and movement skills. He's got very good play strength, good run blocking and pass protection. He's a 3-year starter, depth with upside, maybe to become a starter down the line. 157, the Ravens select cornerback Kai Blue Kelly, good size and frame, above average athleticism, movement skills, burst, and speed. He's a 4-year starter, outside cornerback in a zone or a press scheme. He's got some upside. I like the ball skills and the length. He uses it to disrupt at the catch point. At pick 159, the Packers... pick 158, the Colts selected safety Daniel Scott, a favorite of DJ's. Good size and frame, very good athleticism, speed, burst, and movement skills, good to very good instincts and play recognition, great college production, free safety, strong safety, versatility, and a core special teamer. 159, the Packers select Dontavian Wicks, good size, average frame, average athleticism, speed, but he shines at the catch point. Good to very good ball skills. He's got body control. He's got length. He's got catch radius and play strength. He shows the ability to high point and get up and get it to win contested catches. 160, the Jaguars select safety Antonio Johnson. Some people for a long time thought he was going to be the first safety in this class. Most people thought he was going to be taken on day 2 of the NFL draft. Very surprised that he lasted this far. He's got capability to be a starting strong safety. He can play some nickel cornerback. He's got good frame, good athleticism. He's got closing burst. He's got speed. He's best near the line of scrimmage, coming downhill in run support or in coverage. 161, the Rams selected edge rusher Nick Hampton. I thought he was going to come off the board early round 4 because while he's a little bit undersized, I thought he's a situational edge rusher in a 3-4 scheme. I love the athleticism, the first step quickness. He's got legit bend off the edge. He's got good play strength for his frame with a nonstop motor and a high level of effort. At pick 162, the Colts selected tight end Will Mallory. Really strong pre-draft process. Tested out really well at the combine. Above average to good athleticism, movement skills, and speed with the ability to attack the seam. Good body control, catch radius, and ball skills with the ability to adjust. They got a crowded room of young guys there, but we'll see if he can kind of develop there and throw into the mix. At 163, interesting pick here. The Bengals select running back Chase Brown out of Illinois. Great athleticism, speed, burst, explosiveness, and acceleration. Good lateral quickness to get to the perimeter. He's got good footwork with one cut ability. He's got change of directions because he's a home run hitter for sure. And with the uncertainty of Joe Mixon, it'll be interesting to kind of see. They don't have much there. Samaje Perine's gone, so Chase Brown is a guy to have on your radar for sure. The Vikings select the quarterback Jaron Hall out of BYU, a little bit undersized, but I like the athleticism, the speed, the mobility. He can play off structure, can throw on the run. I think he's got average to above average arm talent in terms of velocity and strength. I like the accuracy and ball placement. I thought he throws a good touch, anticipation, good mental processor as well. At 165, the Bears selected really interesting pick. Some people really were high on quarterback Terrell Smith out of Minnesota. Good size and frame, very good athleticism, speed, closing burst, footwork, and movement skills. He's got play strength. He's got toughness and physicality. He's a depth outside cornerback, but I do see the traits there where he can maybe develop into a starter down the line. Listen, we saw like Tyreek Woolen last year. Sometimes you find these guys. I think Terrell Smith's at least got a chance. At pick 166, the Chiefs select developmental edge rusher B.J. Thomas. Great size. Got to add a little bit to his frame, but this is a traits-based pick. Great athleticism, good speed. He's got first-step quickness and bend. Great length with run and chase ability as well. At pick 167, the Texans select inside linebacker Henry Tolotolo out of Alabama. I thought this guy, if he came off the board late round 3, nobody would have been surprised. Early round 4 at the earliest. At the latest, and here he is picking at 167. Good size, average frame only about average to above average athleticism. But I love the combination of play recognition, instincts, techniques. To me, he's a great depth piece, but I thought he had starter traits. 167, he's going to have to climb the ladder, but we'll see. 168, the Cardinals select linebacker Owen Papo, undersized weak side linebacker, inside linebacker, but we're talking very good to great athleticism, speed, movement skills. He's got sideline to sideline range. He's got cover capabilities, change of direction skills, good cover skills, and tackle ability in space. At pick 169, the Cowboys selected offensive lineman Asim Richards, average size and frame. Got some athletic limitations, but good play strength, power, toughness, physicality. Ideal for a gap run scheme. He's got experience as a 3-year starter, adds versatility along that line. Pick 170, the Raiders traded up and selected safety Chris Smith, undersized free safety out of Georgia with some starter upside traits, average athleticism, movement skills, speed, change of direction skills. Plays with high effort and aggressiveness in run support. Pick 171, Bucks selected tight end Payne Durham. Great size and frame, athletic limitations, but we're talking very good length, got a catch radius, good catch radius and hands, uses body and frame to create late separation at the catch point, good to very good play strength, toughness, and blocking skills, traditional inline wide tight end. 172, the Giants, real excited for this one. Select one of my guys, pounded the table as one of my guys, running back Eric Gray, average size, good frame, above average to good athleticism, burst, and speed. He's got good footwork, change of direction skills, agility and elusiveness to make people miss in the open field. He's got great dead leg, very good to great receiver. I think he's one of the best receiving backs in the class, not obviously at the level of Jahmyr Gibbs and some of the other top guys, but I think he's a top 5 pass catching back in this class. To me, he's got 3-down capabilities. I've been on record as I liked him more than Zach Charbonnet, who I don't really think is going to be a 3-down back at the next level, doesn't really make people miss and can find spaces. I love the Eric Gray pick. If he would have been the Giants pick late round 3, I would have said maybe a tad early, but I still would have got behind it. If he went off the board early round 4, I would have said great value pick. If the Giants had their 4th round pick and they took him there, round pick, I think Eric Gray would have been the guy. They were connected to him. Jordan Renan said they had him. They thought very highly of this guy. So I think we're talking about a guy, they had pretty high in their running back ranks for this. Greg Cosell said he was one of the best running back prospects in this draft class. One of the most complete backs, and love this skill. I'm a big fan of this pick. He's a sleeper pick in all dynasty rookie drafts. Saquon, we'll see. They said they might reconvene next week. Maybe that changes it. But, if the Giants can work out a long-term deal with Saquon, I think Eric Gray could be the starter on this team next year. I really think that's in the possible outcomes. At pick 173, the 49ers selected edge rusher Robert Beal Jr., developmental 3-4 edge rusher. Didn't get a lot of playing time on that loaded Georgia defense, but highly athletic. He's got movement skills. He's got first step quickness and bend off the edge. He's got length. He's got play strength. Really interesting player there. 174, the Rams selected offensive lineman Warren McClendon, undersized depth offensive tackle who may kick inside the guard. Athletic limitations and movement skills, but plays with good techniques, instincts, and hand usage. He's got good toughness and physicality, plays at high level, effort, and motor. At 174, the Rams selected tight end Davis Allen out of Clemson. Really, really good blocker, versatile lineup inline or detached. He's got great size, good frame, average athleticism and speed, but love the catch radius, really good hands. He's got the ball skills to adjust and high point the football. He creates late separation as well. Next up at 175, let's see. I think I might have made a mistake on that one. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Might have missed somebody here. I'm going through my thoughts. So this is the end of the round. Give me 1 second. To find where this guy was. So let's see. Davis Allen. Oh, Evan Hull and Puka Nacua here ended out the round. Evan Hull is a really interesting player out of Northwestern. Really good receiving back. Tested out really well. He's got good size and frame. There's a lot of people that really like Evan Hull's game. He's a really interesting add to that Colts backfield, because when you watch him play, there's a lot of things that he does really, really well. I mean, so we're talking about a guy here in Evan Hull who I think he could possibly become the backup there in time. Good size and frame, good athleticism, movement skills, speed, acceleration and burst. He's got good hands, very good receiving skills and production, average vision. But I like the combination of skills there Evan Hull offered. And then to round out round 5, the Rams selected at pick 177 out of BYU, Puka Nacua. Really interesting player. He's another guy, just like Evan Hull, that there's some people who are really high on his skill set. Good size and frame, good overall athleticism and straight line speed. He's got play strength and physicality at the catch point, creating late separation. He's got very good ball skills and body control with the ability to win contested catches. He's a depth outside wide receiver. Okay, so we're into round 6 now. So I think at this point, I'm going to pick and choose my spots here to kind of see, what to take here in terms of talking about these guys. So let's kind of go from here. First guy, I'll run off the names, and then if they're worthy of coming on. At 178, the Cowboys selected cornerback Eric Scott from Southern Mississippi. He's a guy, developmental quarterback prospect with traits. 79, the Packers selected defensive tackle Carl Brooks. Undersized frame for DT, but he's got average athleticism, good footwork, movement skills, burst, and first step quickness. 180, the Cardinals selected Kentrell Clark, undersized depth nickel corner, good instincts and play recognition. 181, the Bucs selected cornerback Josh Hayes from Kansas State. 4.4 speed as pro day, developmental traits-based cornerback pick there for the Bucs. 182, the Rams selected Trey Tomlinson, undersized nickel cornerback. I think he's got starter upside, though, in terms of being a nickel cornerback. I know he's very small, but the athleticism, the speed, the burst, the lateral quickness shows good physicality even at his size. 183, the Bears selected safety JL Skinner. Great size, average frame. He's got versatility to play either safety position. Good in run support. He's got some cover skills. He's got good play strength, physicality, and instincts. Really bigger safety. Interesting in terms of you don't usually see safeties that big. 184, the Jets selected linebacker Zay Barnes. Versatile linebacker, can play inside or outside. Good athleticism. To me, he's a depth piece and probably core special teamer. 185, the Jaguars selected wide receiver Parker Washington out of Penn State. To me, he's the reduced version of Jarvis Landry. He's a different body type. He's almost got a running back body type, but he's got good play strength, physicality, toughness, but he's limited to the slot. Doesn't have great separation, quickness, or speed, but he makes really acrobatic catches in terms of he's got great ball control and great ball skills and body control. Interesting player that the Jaguars added to the mix. Titans in 186 selected offensive tackle Jalen Duncan, developmental offensive tackle. I think would upside develop into a starter. He's got a lot of traits that are appealing. Good athleticism, movement skills, and lateral quickness. He's got great length. He's got recovery ability. Interesting pick there. 187, Patriots selected wide receiver Kayshon Boutte. Once upon a time, we thought this guy was top 20. Top 20, first-round guy. Patriots get him at 187. Only he's got average size and frame, average athleticism. All those things we thought were better, right? We thought he was 6'1". We thought he had great athleticism. Instead, everything was average size, average frame, average athleticism, speed. And average might be generous in terms of what he tested it. To me, he's going to end up playing from the inside, and he's going to have to win with technical skills. I'm just not sure if he's the refined player, and he's willing to put in the time to become that refined player that I think he's going to have to win at the next level. 188, the Eagles selected cornerback Tanner McGee out of Stanford. If you're looking for that traditional pocket passing, backup quarterback, I think Tanner McGee can be that. I think he's got good arm talent, throws a good touch and anticipation, but he's not going to make much in terms of moving around the pocket. 189, the Rams selected edge rusher Okade Mathis. Good size, average frame, good athleticism, situational, 3-4 edge rusher and sub packages. 190, the Browns select one of my favorite picks in round 6, offensive center Luke Whippler. If the Giants drafted him late round 3 or in round 4, I would have thought it was a good pick with the upside to become a starter. I like his game, good to very good athleticism. Get him out in space, get him in a zone run scheme, and I think he can be very effective. I like the footwork, the lateral quickness. I like that pick there for the Browns. 191, the Bucs select wide receiver Trey Palmer. Great athleticism, speed, burst, and acceleration. Former 5-star recruit. You can do a lot of different things. You can use him manufactured offensive touches as he continues to refine and develop his receiving game and his route running, but he's got great return skills. He's just an offensive weapon, really interesting player, Trey Palmer, especially this late. Patriots at 192 selected the top punter in the draft, Bryce Barringer. 193, the Commanders selected running back Chris Rodriguez. Great size and frame, very good to great play strength, power, toughness, physicality, contact balance, average athleticism, long speed. Sounds a lot like the guy they drafted last year in Brian Robinson. So a little bit redundant there. 194, the Chiefs selected defensive tackle Keandre Coburn, two-gapping nose tackle, a very tough physical guy, takes up space. 195, the Saints selected wide receiver A.T. Perry. A lot of people thought late round 3, early round 4. I thought he was one of the best traditional X receivers in this class. Good body control, shows the ability to go up and get it. Good footwork. I'm surprised he fell this far. Really good value pick there for the Saints. 196, the Bucs selected edge rusher Jose Ramirez, developmental edge rusher. Good athletic, first step quickness and off the edge. 197, the Dolphins selected wide or tight end Higgins. Size and frames, got good athleticism, speed, and movement skills. I think he's best as a big slot or a move tight end. We'll see what the Dolphins plans for him. They did announce him as a wide receiver. Seahawks at 198 select nickel cornerback / free safety Jarek Reed from New Mexico. 5'9", 196 pounds, 4.46, 40-yard dash time, depth piece, and special teamer. 199, the Raven selected Malaysia Ula Lalela. Great size and frame, average athleticism, developed best in a gap power run scheme. He had some versatility and depth at offensive tackle and offensive guard. At pick 200, the Chargers select defensive tackle Scott Matlock out of Boise State. He was in DJ's top 150, so the value here was solid. Depth 3 tech defensive tackle. Pick 201, the Texans selected offensive center Jared Patterson at Notre Dame. Depth offensive guard or offensive center, good in run blocking, good play strength, power, toughness, and physicality, uses his hands well. At pick 202, the Jaguars selected cornerback Christian Braswell out of Rutgers, 5'10", 181, 4.49, 40. I like the athleticism, the short area quickness, and the movement skills, depth nickel corner, and special teamer. At pick 203, the Raiders selected linebacker Amari Burney out of Florida. Depth along the linebacker depth chart and special teamer. 204, Jets made a really interesting pick here. Jarek Bernard Converse out of LSU. He had an elite testing pro day and you compare that on top of the fact that he went to LSU. Good size and frame, great athleticism, speed, and closing bursts. He's got good size, good movement skills, play strength. He's got length. He's got physicality. He's a depth cornerback. But I think they announced him as a safety, which is going to be really interesting to see if they're thinking about converting him to the safety position. 205, Texans selected a guy many people thought would be gone rounds earlier, and that was wide receiver Xavier Hutchinson. I had my concerns about his separation quickness, but at this point, it's a great pick. Good size and frame, good athleticism, movement skills, and speed. Very good ball skills, body control, and catch radius with the ability to adjust and high point to win contested catches. Pick 206, the Bengals selected wide receiver Andrea Isovis, the speedster out of Princeton. He's a developmental outside wide receiver with great length. It's all about the speed and explosiveness for him. He's got to refine his game, get better at the catch point as well. 207, the Packers selected kicker Anders Carlson. 208, the Jaguars selected safety Eric Hallett from Pittsburgh. 209, the Giants selected developmental cornerback Trey Hawkins out of Old Dominion. Really upside traits-based pick, 6'2", 188, great athleticism, ran a 4.4 at his pro day, really good ball skills as well. 210, the Texans selected Patriots selected wide receiver Demario Douglas, undersized depth slot wide receiver, but he's got good athleticism, speed, and movement skills, also a good returner. 211, the Colts selected developmental edge rusher Titus Leo, good athleticism and movement skills, great length, good play strength, and physicality. At 212, the Cowboys selected one of my favorite prospects in the draft, running back Deuce Vaughn, undersized, but he's got good overall athleticism, speed, acceleration, burst, and explosiveness. I love the footwork, the change of direction, the agility, and the elusiveness, good vision and patience as well. 213, the Cardinals selected defensive tackle Dante Stills, undersized DT who can play 5-tech defensive end in a 3-4, good in run support. At pick 214, the Patriots selected cornerback Amir Speed out of Michigan State. Lives up to his name. Great pro day, 4.33, 40-yard dash, developmental upside traits-based pick. 215, the Rams selected running back Zach Evans. We talked about the fall for Kayshon Boutte. Zach Evans right there. Most people thought top 100 pick for sure. And instead of going in the top 100, he falls all the way to pick 215 here. But I love the athleticism, the speed, the explosiveness, the burst, and the acceleration. I think he's got lateral quickness. I think he's got play strength, finishing ability, and contact balance. Zach Evans, really interesting player there. And the Rams depth charts were wide open. Cam Akers, they were not a fan of him. I think Kyron Williams is not going to be a guy who's going to be long for the NFL, maybe as a pass down option, but not as a guy who can carry a heavy workload. 216, the 49ers selected linebacker D. Winters. Plays with high motor, good aggressiveness going downhill. He's a little bit undersized, though, as an inside or weak side linebacker, but does have good athleticism, speed, and quickness. 217, the Bengals selected punter Brad Robbins from Michigan. And then 218, the Bears finished out round 6, defensive tackle Travis Bell from Kennesaw State, developmental small school prospect. If I go through round 7 now, I'm only going to talk about the offensive skill guys here to round it out. And if there's a defensive player or two that stand out in terms of great value, right off the bat, it did start with 2 offensive skill players, though. And that was the Lions selected, actually the Bears at 218. That was the first pick of round 7. So the Bears defensive tackle, Travis Bell out of Kennesaw State. 219, the Lions selected Antoine Green. Very good to great athleticism, burst, acceleration, good hands, the depth outside, vertical speed, wide receiver. At 220, the Jets selected tight end Zach Kuntz. Rare size, got to add to that frame, but great testing numbers at his pro day. He shows speed, he shows quickness, he shows movement capabilities. He's got great length and catch radius. 222, I'm jumping to 222 now. Next offensive skill player taken was Vikings selected running back Dwayne McBride. Good size and frame, good athleticism, movement skills and bursts, average long speed and acceleration. He's got contact balance. He's got the physicality to break tackles, good footwork, vision. Very interesting pick because some people thought he could be literally a late round 3 or early round 4 guy. We don't know about the uncertainty there with Dalvin Cook. So Dwayne McBride is a guy you gotta be ready to pounce if they do something with Dalvin Cook, because it's a really interesting player right there. If we move this along, 228, the Titans selected wide receiver Colton Dowell from UT Martin. Don't know much about him, but traits based, right? 6'2", 212, ran a 4.42 40. So we're talking developmental prospect, obviously a depth chart in Tennessee, wide open. Keep this going. I do love the pick by 229 by the Ravens, selected offensive lineman Andrew Voorhees. If he wasn't going to miss his whole year due to an injury, this is a guy who probably goes off the board round 4. So the Ravens take him in round 7, stash him away for a year, and basically get a free 4th round pick next year when he's eligible to come back off of his injury. Let's go to the next offensive skill player. 235, the Packers selected running back Lou Nichols, the third. I vaguely remember Jeff early in the year talking about Lou Nichols. I'm almost positive it's him. We'll touch base with Jeff next time he's on air, but I'm pretty sure I remember Jeff talking about Lou Nichols out of Central Michigan. Really productive player, great size, a good size, great frame, average athleticism, but runs with really good play strength, toughness, power, physicality. He's got good contact balance, depth early down, and short yards type runner. 237. I mean, I don't think anybody saw this happening as the year went on, in the beginning of the year, I should say. But the Seahawks selected running back Kenny McIntosh out of Georgia, one of the best receiving backs. I think you make the case. He might even be the second best receiving back in this draft class after Jahmyr Gibbs. But the athleticism really hurt him in the pre-draft process. He tested out as a below-average athlete. I think on the field he shows average athleticism, but tested out poorly. Good footwork. I think he's got agility to one cut and get up the field, but he's not a make you miss kind of person. He's not a change of direction type guy. He's good play strength and contact balance. He picks up some extra yards more with physicality and toughness. But for him, it's the receiving capabilities. That's what's going to get him his ticket if he makes it at the NFL level. Chargers at 239 selected Max Duggan out of TCU. I don't really think he's an NFL player. Good athleticism, mobility, rushing ability to play off structure and throw on the run. Very good toughness. I almost think a position change and do some, stuff that, teams sometimes do, whether you make them like an offensive weapon or, I think Taysom Hill type role might be what's best for a guy like Max Duggan. 241. I know most talking offensive guys, but 241, the Steelers got arguably the Steelers draft. Cornerback Corey Trice, out of Purdue, great size and frame, above average athleticism, movement skills, speed and closing bursts. I love the length. He disrupts the catch point. He's got play strength. He's got toughness. He's got physicality. To me, he's a press man corner with upside traits to be a starter. And he goes here. In talking to John Ledger on Twitter yesterday, it sounded like there might be some medicals. There has to be something because, he was in Dane Brugler's top 100. Everybody who watched him thought he was a late round 3, early round 4 guy. It's hard to find press physical long corners and who are good athletes. And here he is at 241. Something doesn't add up there. It'll be interesting to see if we hear a little bit more about that. Looking for 244, another offensive skill player. Cowboys selected wide receiver Jalen Brooks. Good size and average frame. A good size and frame, average athleticism, quickness, speed, movement skills, and acceleration. Good length, catch radius, hands, play strength, body control, ball skills, and physicality at a high point, and just to win contested catches. Any other 247 to 49 selected tight end fullback Braden Willis out of Oklahoma. Undersized, average to above average athleticism, movement skills, speed, and yak ability. Good toughness and physicality, great effort blocking. And let's see if that is the 49ers at 253 selected wide receiver Ronnie Bell, average size and frame, average to above average athleticism and movement skills, good to very good ball skills and body control. I know he was a sleeper when David Syvertson was on from Our Lads. He talked about Ronnie Bell as one of his sleeper wide receivers on day 3. 49ers get him real late at 253. And then the last offensive skill player taken was at 256. The Packers selected wide receiver Grant Dubois out of Charlotte. Very good size, good frame, average athleticism, movement skills. He's a depth outside developmental wide receiver prospect. So there it is, guys. Thoughts on almost every single player rounds 4, 5, and 6, and then all the offensive skill players from round 7. If you guys are new to me in terms of you came across me on Twitter during the draft, thank you for checking out the podcast. Thank you for following me on Twitter. It was an absolute pleasure. I know I love the interaction. I made it a point to try to get back and respond to every single person. If I missed anybody, I apologize for that. I was kind of all over the place there, but I was doing my best to try to answer everything as well. If you were following along, I sent out the images about a half hour before the draft started to let people know what our big boards looked like from the draft projections notebook. And we had another very, very successful year. In the first round, we projected 27 out of 31 right for 87%. In the rounds 1 through 3, the top 102, we projected 86 out of 102 for 84% hit rate. I know I checked the Huddle website, which does like the people have to send in their picks for the top 100, and there was only 1 or 2 people that got 86 out of 100. So here, this is 86 out of 102. So if we had entered that contest, we would have been right near the top, if not tied for the top. I would have had to take 2 guys off my list here that I projected to go in the top 102. But we'd be somewhere in that 84 to 86 range, and we would have been right near the top of the ranks there on the Huddle website for accurately predicting the guys to come off the board in the top 100. And then two out of the 259 players selected, we accurately predicted 217 of them for an 84% hit rate in one of the drafts, in one of the year's most uncertainty of all NFL drafts. So really excited that we continue to maintain that numbers of mid 80% usually for the top 100, and trying to predict all 3 rounds. So the fact that we get that number in the top 100 and then we maintain it through rounds 4 through 7 is something I know we're really proud of here. The endless amounts of hours of reading, listening, hearing, trying to put together a big board to give you a guide to what we expect to happen and pretty accurately reflect what does happen. And that's what we keep saying. If you want to kind of have a really good idea of what might happen, these notebooks do a really good job of telling you what the best in the industry are combined together, here listening and reading all the best out there and trying to put together these big boards based on how we expect it to go. And I think piecing together pieces here, what we hear, it's almost better than just, looking at one person's big board, which is a little bit skewed maybe in terms of what their thoughts are. This is again taken from the best in the industry to put together one collective thing from every single aspect of what I'm hearing. And it does a really good job representing what's going to happen, during the weekend of the NFL draft and give you that guide. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, it's not too late to get over to the website, SS Football. It might seem like why buy the notebooks now, but so much content. You can use a draft projections notebook, which still has a snapshot of over how 400 players win, including the defensive players. So if you play in IDP leagues, it gives you a quick snapshot of who they are, as well as the offensive guys. The rankings notebook now is probably of most value because it has our detailed dynasty rookie rankings. It'll have our positional dynasty rankings updated in a couple of weeks. It has our Devy rankings. It has our tiered draft rankings based on film analysis solely. And then you also get the scouting notebook, which has our almost 100 detailed scouting reports on all the offensive skill players from this draft class as well. You get it all for $9.99. So on behalf of our sound tech engineer, David Nakano, and myself, thank you for joining us, and I look forward next time taking you from Saturday to Sunday.